9/11, Big 550 KTRS. Lots going on with the Ferguson, Officer Wilson, Michael Brown shooting. And our guest was scheduled to be on before all of this happened, before Jamel Nasheed was arrested, before this leaked grand jury testimony was out. But shortly after the New York Times story of the federal investigation was leaked, our guest, Gabe Crocker. Gabe, your official title is president of the St. Louis County Police Association, which is more or less what? What is that?
It's a police union. I mean, we represent, around 400 officers in St. Louis County, and of course, we're part of the larger organization, which is the Fraternal Order of Police.
Right, and so you are a spokesman for the union.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, obviously I work for the St. Louis County Police Department, but when I come in and I talk here, I'm representing our members and representing the Fraternal Order of Police.
Gotcha.
Because I think it's important that officers have a voice, and I have some ability to come out here and say some things that we feel need to be said, and that some of our command staff or individuals in the department can't say.
Right. Is your official capacity
Yes.
as a spokesperson for the police union in St. Louis County?
Correct.
Okay. It seems like over the last couple of weeks, even with the weekend of resistance, that the protesters seemed, and that's why you're here, to have dialed it down a notch and were relatively peaceful. True or false?
I think that's true. I mean, we've certainly had a few nights that were very tough on our officers. A lot of face-to-face contacts, very aggressive, screaming, cursing behavior. And it continues to be a very small percentage of the people that are out there protesting. But that presents quite a challenge to our officers, and it's very, very exhausting work to be out there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. We've gone into kind of an emergency status where we've gone to staggered shifts and longer shifts, and we're providing additional coverage in certain areas because of these protests. So there is a component of protesting that is going on that is nonviolent, is peaceful, and we're not having any issues with those people, really. But then there is, again, this certain segment that will occasionally flare up. And it flared up a few weeks ago on a Monday night, I believe, and it was about Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, it was just kind of up and down. We made a lot of arrests, and that wasn't so peaceful. And I mean,
that was in the Shaw neighborhood, over by Tower Grove Park, over by the Quick Trip over there.
Yeah, that developed from a shooting incident in the city.
Right. There is video. Frank Opinion talked about this video. He posted it on his Facebook page.
Okay.
I reposted it. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they're out there. And it's a video. It's about 15 minutes long of this person who drops every curse word in the book, literally in the face of officers, white officers, black officers, every name in the book. We can't even begin to even beep out some of the contents of it.
Just one long steady beep.
I mean, it is one of the most unbelievable videos you'll ever see, and it's out there, and we will repost it. The officers were stone-faced.
Yes. One
tried to smirk, and then the protester started yelling, "Don't you smirk! How dare you smirk at me!" I mean, it was unbelievable to me that the police officers didn't say a word or do anything.
Well, and I'm proud of them for that. That is very difficult to stand, and I've been in a very similar circumstance. I during the incidents in Ferguson, the first round, a lot of people call it, but I've seen that video and a lot like it. I've seen some videos that are just as disgusting that are not online or haven't made it into the social media world.
Right.
It's disheartening and it bothers me, and I'm so sorry that those officers have to be in that situation. But that's our job as police officers, and it is a very taxing job. I have spoken to officers. I've spoken to female officers who are out there on the line, and people are threatening to rape them, and I've talked to white officers that have been called, racial slurs. I've talked to black officers, close friends of mine, who have endured threats and this nasty, nasty, toxic language. It's very difficult, and I feel sorry for our officers, but I'm very proud of all the officers that are working these protests, because sometimes they are not nonviolent. They're very very toxic to be around in those situations.
I don't know how they do it, and I don't know how they continue to do it. We're going on 6 or 7, 8 weeks
it's tough,
now.
McGraw. It's tough.
You talked about taking a toll. I mean, these are innocent officers who are doing nothing more than their job. How difficult, and what is the toll being taken on those officers?
You know, I've talked to a lot of officers about this. I know that our commanders, Deputy Chief Cox, Chief Belmer, Colonel Doyle, and others, they're really getting out there and trying to speak to our officers. And you'd be surprised. These are tough individuals. Like I said, I'm very proud of them. I've been worn out, where I just get home and it's literally just a trail of clothing to my bedroom,
right,
where I just fall into bed. I mean, it is physically, emotionally exhausting. It's tough on individuals. It's tough on their families. It's tough on their work environment. And it's tough on the people of St. Louis County, because we're dumping a tremendous amount of resources all over St. Louis to protect these people. And so then it's our command staff's job to make sure that we're also still taking care of the other people in St. Louis County. So that is a very difficult job to do.
The other things you were doing don't stop.
Right. I mean, we don't stop writing, car accidents and burglary reports and doing some enforcement activity. We don't stop neighborhood watch meetings in other communities. But this is a tremendous draw on resources, and it's obviously very expensive. You've seen some published reports about the millions and millions of dollars that we're spending, the damage to police cars, and some of these individuals are starting to, again, like I said, there's always a group, like the folks that continue to protest outside of Ferguson, the Ferguson PD every night.
Right.
We're not having any issues by and large with those individuals, and they're there, and they're allowed to be there, and they have a First Amendment right to be there.
I want to get to those Ferguson protests, including Jamel and Nasheed. We'll do that in a second. Gabe Crocker is our guest. He is a spokesperson for the St. Louis County Police Association, St. Louis County. We'll get back more with him in a moment on Big 550 KTRS.